Hello everyone, welcome to our Thursday guest lecture series. Today, hello everyone, welcome to our Thursday guest lecture series. Today is our guest lecture number 45. And this Thursday guest lecture series has been so very helpful to our community in so many different ways. So we are very happy to help you through this program. And today is another special lecture that we have, Dissemination of Theravādin Discourses in Tibetan Buddhist Canon by Ashutosh Kadam. And this is again an interesting topic, I'm sure. And some of you are maybe probably not so familiar with Tibetan Buddhism. And if you are, then this is very, very useful because this is kind of a comparative study between the two great traditions, two great schools of Buddhism. Theravada Buddhist discourses in Tibetan Buddhist canon. Let me introduce our speaker today, Ashutosh Kadam, and he is presently a visiting lecturer, Department of Pali, University of Mumbai, and he also teaches Introduction to Buddhist Sanskrit Literature in undergraduate level, and he also has taught postgraduate level Canonical Vinaya Literature, Introduction to Buddhist Studies and Research Methodology, and in 2023 he has completed his Master of Buddhist Studies, the Center of Buddhist Studies, the University of Hong Kong. In 2023, he also has completed the MCOM, Advanced Accountancy degree from Department of Commerce, University of Mumbai. And in 2023, he completed another master degree, Department of Pali, Mumbai University. And then 2018, he also graduated with BCom degree from SIWS College, Mumbai University. So Ashutosh's research interests are Pali language and literature, classical Tibetan language and literature, Buddhist Sanskrit language and literature, Pali Sanskrit Tibetan comparative studies, history of Indian Buddhism, Buddhist philosophical school of Madhyamaka school, and he also has several certificate courses, paper presentations in different conferences. He also has extracurricular activities, certain activities like a Samanera Sikha training program he has attended, and Arya Salistambhanama Mahayana Sutra exposition of Pratitya Samupada doctrine. Also, he offered the guest lecture there. So, very happy to have our wonderful guest lecture today, Mr. Ashutosh Kadam. May I now invite him to our studio. Ashutosh, are you there? Okay.
Yeah, yes, Bhagwan.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. And
Okay.
first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to deliver this lecture to our community.
Hmm. Yes. Uh, Ashutosh, you also have studied in different universities across Mumbai University and some other universities. So you have also studied in Hong Kong University.
Yes.
So what are you currently doing? As are you still continuing with your graduate postgraduate studies or just teaching?
Currently, I'm teaching now at the Department of Pali, Mumbai University,
Okay.
and planning uh, uh, to present article. Actually, I'm working on an article currently,
Hmm.
uh, and in future years, I'm planning to go for PhD.
Okay. Okay. Good luck with your um, research studies, dissertation in the future. And thank you once again for volunteering to help share your knowledge with our community, and
Yes,
especially the comparative study, as you are going to talk, will be very interesting. We will
yes.
ask some questions later on
Okay, Bante.
after your presentation.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, Bante.
whenever you are ready, you can do
Yes,
your
Bante, we
presentation.
can go on. Yeah. Yes. The today's our topic is uh, dissemination of Theravādin texts into Tibetan Buddhist canon. This is very interesting text when I find that there are several suttas were translated directly from Pali to Tibetan. Um, when I was studying Master of Arts in Pali in Mumbai University, then during that study I learned classical Tibetan actually. And during the classical Tibetan, learning the classical Tibetan, I found that there are some sutras were directly translated into Tibetan, Pali sutras, and I later the on later masters, that is the master of Buddhist studies. During my master of Buddhist study, I took this. Uh, Topic as my dissertation. So I'm very happy to share this with you. So let's start. Now uh, let's get to the introduction. The present study is about the group of suttas translated from Pali to Tibetan and later added to the Tibetan canon. And this group of sutras were later came to known as Sarma Gurva. Sarma Gurva means the newly translated suttas. Bhutan Rinpo Drup. The Bhutan is the name of a person. He was a Tibetan historiographer actually, and he mentioned in his book, The History of Buddhism, the 13 newly translated texts. We shall get familiar with some basic introduction to Tibetan canon and plunge into the present topic. Colophons are extracted from the given text in order to identify the period of transmission and translation which greatly support the subject matter actually. Uh, where we found this the group of 13 sutras which is mentioned in the uh, history of Buddhism by Bhutan. Uh, he in late 14th centuries actually. We can find that the Bhutan mention his book. There are these group of 13 sutras are belong to the Shravakayana sect or Hinayana sect. He mentioned, right, and we find that these 13 suttas are there. Colophons are very helpful for the study of the historicity and the transmission. Actually, there are many other Theravadin or Shravakayana school teachings that can be traced into Tibetan canon. The current presentation, however, is mainly concerned with the group of 13 sutras. There are many Shravakayana texts, directly or indirectly belongs to the Theravadin, uh, Theravadin school. But these 13 sutra in particular are um, directly connected with the Theravadin school, and there are other suttas also there. Other texts are also there, but it is uh, it can be said that we can say that there are we can trace those sutras, trace those text in both um, in Theravada also and in Mul Sarvastivadin school also. The present presentation is made with the intention to promote and to create awareness about Pali Tibetan comparative studies. Our main intention is to promote or create awareness, uh, create awareness about Pali and Tibetan comparative studies. Yeah. So first we have to know what is Tibetan canon, right? The Tibetan canon is divided into two. Uh, First is Kanjur or second is the Tengyur. It is pronounced as a Kagyur in Tibetan, and uh, second text is pronounced as a Tengyur. Kagyur means Kagyur comprises texts traditionally held to have been spoken by the Buddha. Whatever the Buddha Vachana are there, all included in Kagyur. The entire collection of text regarded as a Buddha Vachana translated into Tibetan. And these 13 particular suttas, the group of suttas, are included in the Kagyur. Tengyur, on the other side, comprises treatises and commentaries by Indian and other masters. We can find that there are many treatises on the Buddha Vachanas are there. We can say that it is like a Attakathas. The translation of works written by Indian master explaining and elaborating on the words of the Buddha. So this is the uh, work of Buddha Vachana by many scholars, Indian, Chinese, or Tibetan scholars. So this Kanjur or Kagyur have there are have two editions. There are mainly two editions of Kagyur. First is Tsalpa, second is Tempangpa. Tempangpa. Tsalpa is one of the two textual lineages of Kagyur, starting from the edited version produced at the monastery of Tsal Gungthang in 1347 to 51. Thempangpa, on the other hand, the second, one of the two textual lineage of the Kagyur, starting from a manuscript, so name that was produced as a Gansei in 1431. The copies made from this common source were taken to different parts of Tibet and evolved into two slightly different branches or traditions, the Eastern branch and the Western branch. Right? Uh, Apart from these two, there are other lineages also can be found, but these two lineages of Kangyur are more reliable. So I am utilizing the Tsalpa Kangyur, Tsalpa lineage Kangyur, and this lineage Kangyur have the several additions. This lineage have several additions of Kangyur. The editions are available today to us, that is the Berlin, Kon, Dege, Lhasa, Lithang, Narthang, Peking or Urk. These are the uh, eight editions of the Kangur I have mentioned here. And this is very, known, these eight are popular. There are others also, but these eights are more reliable, more useful. Yes. Now, these are the list of Theravadin texts and their location in the Tibetan canon. You can see these are the name of the text. The first is Dharma Chakra Pravartana Sutra. Actually, you can see they translated into Sanskrit, Sanskritized the sutra's name. Um, because the translator, the interpreter has the base of Sanskrit, that is why it is the text name can be found in Sanskrit actually. The first sutra is Dharma Chakra Pravartana Sutra, and I utilizing here the Dege Kagyur of Tsalpa lineage, where we can trace this sutra in Dege. The Dharma Chakra Pravartana Sutra can be traced into Dege Kagyur into D31, that is the uh, number of the sutra. Second is Jataka Nidhana, D32. Atanatiya Sutta, D33. Mahasamaya Sutra, D34. Maitri Sutra, D35. Maitri Bhavana Sutra, D37. Panchashikshanusansa Sutra, D37. Giri Ananda Sutra, D38. Nandopananda Nagaraj Damana Sutra, D39. Mahakashyapa Sutra, D40. Surya Sutra, D41. Chandra Sutra, D42. Mahamangala Sutra, D43. These are the 13 sutras, but we can find the one additional sutra also. That is the more refined, a better version of Maitri Sutra, and and this version of Maitri Sutra came to known as Arya Maitri Sutra Nama. Same text, but different structure, more refined and more better to understand than uh, the first Maitri Sutra. However, this sutra, the 14th sutra, is very important actually. Not found in Dege edition, but in the another edition, Peking edition, we can find, and the number is Q 1010 in the section of the. Do is the sutra and who is the letter, volume letter, and the folio number is 304 A5 to 311 B3. So these 13 sutra are located in the Dege Kagyur under under the section of Prajna Sutra, or the Prajna section is the wisdom section. In the wisdom section, you can find many Mahayana texts on wisdom, and these 13 sutras are located at the end of the Prajna Sutra, right? So Peter Skilling, if you read Peter Skilling 1993, his article, he he says that uh, these 13 sutras are located at the end of the Prajna Sutra because these 13 sutras were highly praised during that time. Why these sutras were located in the section of Prajna Sutra? Because it is highly praised, highly popular, considered as a paritta. Why it is end of the Prajna Sutta? Because it is considered as blessings. That is why. Or the another um another hypothesis we can derive, that is these 13 sutra are put it at the end of the Prajna section because it is newly translated, very last. That is why, maybe. So if you want to find these suttas, you have to go through the Prajna section. Now, can we trace these sutras in Pali canon or Pali literature? Yes, we can. The Dhamma Chakka Pavatana Sutta can be traced into Vinay, Vinay Pitaka 1.10, Sayukta Nikaya 56.11. That is the Dhamma Chakka Pavatana Sutta. Jatak Nidana or Jataka Attakata J.1. Atanatiya Sutta DN 32. Mahasamaya Sutta DN 20. The Mettaya Sutta. Yes, this is the uh, quite surprising to me actually, and it is hard to trace. The actually it is not the official name of the sutta. It is the just the this name given by Peter Scaling actually in his article. But if you read Minayev's 1886 manuscript B, you can read his colophon, and in that colophon uh, you can see the name of the sutta, the official name of the sutta, and it is mentioned as Mettaya Sutta Anagatavansa. It is the official name of this particular sutta, and unfortunately, it is unedited and not available to study. Yeah. Uh, the sixth is Metta Bhavana Sutta. Actually, some scholar confused with this sutta. Some scholar consider the Maitri Sutra as the Metta Sutta, but in Sanskritized Buddhism, or in Sanskrit Buddhism, or in Tibetan Buddhism, Maitri is equivalent to Arya Maitreya. Maitri is equivalent to Arya Maitreya. So scholar got confused, and he mentioned, consider the Maitri Sutra as the Metta Sutta, as a counterpart of its Pali. its Pali counterparts. The true Pali counterparts of Metta is the Metta Bhavana Sutta. And in Tibetan, we just saw that the Maitri Bhavana Sutra is the counter of the Metta Sutra. But Maitri Sutra is not the counterpart of uh, Metta Sutta. So Maitri Sutra is the counterpart of Maitreya Sutta Anagata Vansa, unedited text, and the work has been done by Professor Minayev in 1886, PTS PTS article. You can go through and see that sutta. Pancha Sikha Ani Sansa Sutta. That is the portion of Anumana Sutta or the MN1. Girimananda Sutta. Anguttara Nikaya 10.60. And this is all these are suttas are uh, it is not new to uh, Theravadin followers. They daily chanted this sutta. They daily do. Nandopananda Nagaraja Damana Sutta D39. Oh, sorry. I think I mix up here. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I haven't updated this one. Yeah, but just Nandopananda Nagaraja Damana Sutta can be traced into Visuddhi Magga. Mahakasapa Bhojanga Sutta can be traced. The Surya Sutta and the Chandima Sutta, Mahamangala Sutta, yes, can be found in the Tibetan Pali canon and the Pali non-canonical literature, especially the Nandopananda Nagaraja Damana Sutta. However, you can see the repeated thing here. Yeah, I didn't update this one, but yeah, I will upload the updated one later to Bante. Yes. Now this is the very important slide of our study. The colophon is the important thing. We can find many things from the colophon. Yeah, especially the historicity, the transmission, who translated, when he translated, every information is on the who was the royal patronage at that time, who sponsored these translations. Yeah, we can trace to these colophons. Just
Okay, please be patient. He'll be back. Okay, thank
yes,
you.
sorry, yes. So this is the colophon from the Dharma Chakra Pravartana Sutra D31. Yeah, and mentions that in that colophon, at the behest of Shalu Kusang Drakpa Gelsen Duwensha, it is the name of the king of that region. Shalu. Shalu is the region of Tibet. His name is Kusang Drakpa Gelsen Duwensha. Ben, ben, uh, Ben Shah, who had unbreakable faith in the Buddha's teaching, who was accomplished in the two principles, and who had great uh, sorry, great prestige and authority like the waxing moon. So the colophon, it is the direct translation of the above mentioned Tibetan script. You can see Tibetan translation. It is the exact translation. So you can see that colophon says the sponsor's name, the royal patronage, that is the Kusha Dragpa Gelsen. It is the name of the royal patronage, and who had a unbreakable faith in the Buddha's teaching, who is um sponsoring the translation work, right? And these sentences are dedicated to him, or praising him actually. And these colophons uh, can be traced in all the 13 suttas, but not the same or exact. But these particular colophon giving the more information can be found in the first Dhammachakra Sutra. And this actually it is like a passage. So I break down the passage, and each passage uh, describing the three persons, actually the king and the two translators. And the colophons continue, and we find the first master or the scholar, the Sri Lankan scholar, Pandita Anandashri. I don't know how many Sri Lankans know about him, but he was highly praised that time. And in all the 13 sutras, you can find his name, and he is the main person uh, who helped the Tibetan Lotsavas or Tibetan grammarians to translate this text into Tibetan. So Colophon says about him, the great Pandita Anandashri from the island of Sinhala, a journey of 600 yojanas to the south of Vajrasana, the Bodhimanda, Bodhagaya, who had properly entered the religious life from a Brahman family, who had taken full ordination and thoroughly mastered the Tripitaka. So he is praising words for Anandashri. Why he is a proper candidate for translating these sutras? Because he's master of Tripitaka, and he was quite famous that time. And uh, and the Tibetan masters or Tibetan interpreters meet him, and he traveled to Tibet with them, and he uh, translated, helped to translate the Theravādin discourses into Tibet. He is the main contributor. Along with Anandashri, the same colophon continues. Along with Anandashri, there is one Tibetan master or Tibetan grammarian interpreter, is the Lotsava. Lotsava is the interpreter, translator, grammarian, or the scholar. Lotsava Nimagel Nimagelsen Pel Sangpo is, it is the name, the Tibetan name of the Tibetan scholar, also known as Surya Dhwaja Shri Bhadra. We can find information about him also. The learned Bahusutta translator, the Shakya Bhikshu, Nima Gelsen Pel Sangpo, and states that the translation was done at the seat of translators, the great monastery Mahavihar of glorious Tharpaling. So this translation, the location of the translation also mentioned in this colophon, and it says Tharpaling. It is very near to the Nepal, and I think it is located in Tibet. Yeah, it is located in Tibet. So the translation work done in the Tharpaling monastery, and these two scholars sit together and translated these 13 texts. It is true that the Surya Dhwaja Shri Bhadra translated many texts, but along with Ananda Shri, he translated 13 texts. And he mentioned that these 13 texts belong to the Shravakayana. Now, many scholars do not agree that these are particular texts belong to only Theravadin, because there is one scholar, Edwin Cons. He is a Mahayana scholar. He says that uh, the Shravakayana or Hinayana, they included here by Bhutan, are is referring to the Mula Sarvastivada school, because the Mula Sarvastivada school also belong to the Shravakayana school, which is very close to Tibetans or Tibetan scholars or Tibetan Buddhism, because the whole Vinaya of Tibetan Buddhism is uh, is borrowed from Mula Sarvastivada Vinaya. So there is a high chance that these sutras are uh, not belongs to the Theravada, but belongs to the Mula Sarvastivada school. But Peter Skilling argues here, and he says that if it is a Mula Sarvastivada school, then the Mula Sarvastivada school scholars should be mentioned there, not from Sri Lankan scholar. So the Sri Lanka scholar and the 13 sutras, the whole 13 sutras cannot be traced into Mula Sarvastivada school. Most of the sutras can be traced into Theravadin school. So there is a high chance, and it is transmitted by Anandashri, and he concluded that he is 100% sure that these are the sutra are directly from Pali, not from Sanskrit, not from Apabhramsha, not from any other language, but from Pali. Yeah. So um, so this is these sentences of the colophon. This part of colophon mention about the location along with the Tibetan Lotsawa. This is the second colophon and gives more information about the king and the Anandashri, and this second, the another Lotsawa. Um, we will see his name, but not Nima, no, Surya Dhwaja Shri Bhadra, but the another Lotsawa. So I don't know how to mark, but you can see the first page of the colophon, line number 4. You can see there is a break in the section. From there to the end, the second page, last sentence, before the break, the the last sentence actually, that from there to here, all are the colophon, all are the information by who, done by whom. You can see this colophon utilize employed from the Arya Maitri Sutra Nama. This is very unique sutra. This is the 14th sutra, and it is the exact, not exact, it is the translation of same sutra which I have mentioned earlier, the Metteya Suttang Anagata Vansa, but it is very smooth translation, less complicated words, right? More refined version than the Metteya Sutta or Maitri Sutra. Time period we can see it says, the colophon says, once again Pandita Ananda Shri translated another text with another Lotsava, Kunga Gelsen Tupten Pel Sangpo, the Arya Maitri Sutra Nama. It is the similar, but it is similar but not identical to Maitri Sutra. The another refined version of Maitri Sutra states that monks, monk, referring to the Lotsava, the second Lotsava, Lotsava name is Kunga Gelsen Tupten Pel Sangpo. It is the name of the second Lotsava. Lotsava is means grammarian, interpreter. The second interpreter, Ananda Shri is seated with the second Lotsava, second interpreter, and he interpreted the 14th text, that is the Arya Maitri Sutra Nama. The colophon says about the second Lotsava, linear bearer, the monk, linear bearer, successor to the great translators, who through good fortune met Anandashri at Sakya. The work completed in the bright half of the first month of winter of a fire ship year. Fire ship year, each year they have names, right? Like May, here they consider as they name the year as Meluk. Meluk is the fire ship year, which is the 1850 years and 10 months after the passing away of the Buddha, when the Dharma Raja Hashang was on the throne. So they give us the date of the transmission, which can be calculated as follows: 1307. It is the date AD. 1307 AD. It is the time period when these sutras were transmitted from Sri Lanka or from India to Tibet. 1850 they mention here. If you minus 543, you will get 1307 according to the Siamese calendar. Otherwise 1308 according to Sri Lankan calendar. You know, we have different this period can be depend on the Buddha's birth, Buddha's historical date, and the date varies from tradition to tradition. So Peter Skilling utilizes two dates derived from the Siamese calendar and the Sri Lankan calendar. So the sutra were transmitted during the early 14th century. Yeah. Conclusion: the 13 sutras are the texts which are directly translated from Pali to Tibetan. Most texts have their parallel in Tibetan canon. We find, however, few variances in both parallel texts. Yeah, uh, mostly 13 sutras are exactly or same structure as we can see in the Pali, but there are some variances, very few. I mean, 1% variances we can find in each parallel. uh, parallel texts, right? And it is true that the Tibetans are faithfully to the original sources. They do not manipulate the the text when they are translating. They translate exactly as it is. Even they do not follow their own sentence structure. They adopted the Sanskrit or Pali sentence, the syntax they follow. They highly faithful to the early or original text. So that is why the variations, the manipulation has no place in the Tibetan canon, in Tibetan translations. Few texts had their parallel in Mula Sarvastivada school, which is form of a Shravakayana school nearest to Tibetans. However, most of the texts cannot be traced in Mula Sarvastivada school. There are few texts can be found in Mula Sarvastivada school which were highly praised or highly esteemed in every school. That is the Dharma Chakra Pravartana Sutra, uh, and Chandra Sutra, Surya Sutra. Yeah, there are one or two sutras are there. Or Jataka Nidana, we can find in Mula Sarvastivada school, in Theravada school, in Tibetan school. Yes, but not all the suttas are there in Mula Saraswata. The arrival or departure of Sri Lankan monk Anandashri is still unknown. Yeah, it is still is a question that when the Anandashri comes to Buddha Gaya, when he went to the Tibet, did he how many years he stayed? Did he stay? Did he passed away there, or did he come back or return to his homeland? These questions are still under question mark, right? And these texts are only proof that he exists. He was existed, Tanandashri, and his endeavor to propagate the teaching across Indian territory. Many of the texts have been overlooked by scholars, and the translation effort and the comparative editions are currently ongoing. Yeah, many these sutras are still not translated. The Tibetan part, actually, of course, our Tibetan our Theravadin part is already done. All the texts are translated, but except some sutras like Maitri Sutra, which is unedited text, the Maitreya Sutta, Anagata Vansang. This text is still unique. It is not the Anagata Vansa. It is the another version of Anagata Sutta, which is not edited yet, which is not published yet. The last work has been done in 1886 by Professor Skilling. And these Tibetan sutras, the Shravakayana sutras in Tibetan canon are still ongoing, right? Still untranslated, still not included in any scholarly work. It is hard to find any work in modern time in modern time. Yeah. So this our short lecture is about to get to know about these sutras, and we need to know that the Tibetan Buddhism, there is a connection between the Tibetan Buddhism and the Theravada teachings, right? And this is the start to learn about the Tibetan discourses, Tibetan canon, how the suttas can be interpreted, how they interpreted, how the suttas went there, and many more things can be revealed after that. Yeah. So this is the this is a small effort to propagate the Pali and Tibetan comparative studies. I hope you like like this short session, and I hope you gain something today. Yeah, These are the references. Yeah, if you need to read this text, you can go through. These are the references. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Bante.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That is so wonderful. I think it is very interesting. I personally feel very happy to hear that there are
Yeah.
a lot of suttas that are connected to Theravada Buddhism.
Yes.
So, when we say Theravada Buddhism, like early Buddhism, there are many schisms happening at the beginning, and then somehow Theravada and Mahayana, and also Vajrayana, or Tibetan version of the Mahayana
Yeah.
tradition. It is said how the language, maybe they adopted Sanskrit language, and the Theravada camp adopted the Pali language, and then over time, because of the geographical differences and other differences, and also lack of communication between each other, right?
Hmm.
So some of the things have changed, but it is very nice to see that still we have a lot of suttas in common. That's very, very interesting. Um, so my question is, did you select only 18, 13 suttas you said, right? Um,
Actually, 13.
13 suttas you found. I hope there are more suttas than this.
Yes, actually, we need to we need to study, and it will reveal to us that there are many, not only suttas, but the uh, text also transmitted
Mm,
to the Tibetan region. Actually,
mm, mm. Yes, so um, like in Tibetan Buddhism, I think there are four main schools, right?
yes,
Um, like Nyingma tradition, and then
Nigma is the oldest.
yeah, that is oldest and the biggest, and then I think Dalai Lama school is Kap,
Geluk.
Geluk
Yeah.
school, and then other small versions are also there. But,
Mm.
so these suttas are commonly accepted by all of them, right?
Bante, yes, it is true that the Tibetan Buddhism has four schools in it.
Hmm.
First is let's familiar with the schools, the Nigma, Sakya, Kagyu, uh, and
Gelugpa.
Geluk. And the follower of the these schools known as the Nigma Pa, Sakya Pa,
Hmm.
Geluk Pa, something like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
Pa. They just
Hmm.
connect the Pa with the school. Uh, the canon is similar to all schools.
Hmm. Hmm.
What is the difference between these schools are the tantra system, that's all. Other things are remain unchanged.
Okay.
The tantra lineages are different, other than the same things they are following.
Right, right. I think it is like in the Theravada schools of Buddhism. Also, we have like Buddhism in Thailand, Buddhism in Sri Lanka, in Myanmar, but they accept I think almost 99% the same thing, almost 100%, I would say.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes,
they
that's true.
are very similar with that. So, hopefully, that is the same idea with the gurus, right?
Hmm.
They have their own rules and they follow the tradition.
Yes,
Uh,
Bante.
so, uh, out of the suttas that you mentioned here, I think Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is a very important sutta. Yes, I think Metta
Yeah.
Sutta also is a really important sutta. I hope it is the Karaniya Metta Sutta or the Metta Sutta.
Actually, that is the Metta Bhavana Sutta.
Metta Bhavana Sutta. Okay.
Metta Bhavana Sutta.
Um, is it a different sutta? Metta Bhavana Sutta?
Actually, the 11 benefits are mentioned in that sutta.
Oh, that is
Because
Mettanisansa. Okay. That is Mettanisansa. 11 benefits
oh,
of loving
uh,
kindness. Right.
yes,
Okay. So, what about the other common teachings in Buddha, especially like Paticca Samuppada, or the dependent origination? Did you find
actually,
some other suttas related to that?
the Paticca Samutpada Sutta is the most prominent and the highly esteemed discourses in Tibetan, because the Madhyamika philosophical school born from the uh, doctrine of Pratitya Samutpada.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the later dated on the Pratitya Samutpada become the Shunyata, and the Shunyata become prominent in Mahayana, then carry forward to the Vajrayana. That is the most integral part of the Tibetan Buddhism. Without Paticcasamuppada, it is impossible to understand the teachings. Becoming a Buddha is their higher aim. So analyzing or direct seeing the Paticcasamuppada, it is a direct realization of the Buddhahood according to their thought of school of thought. Yeah. So
Right.
yes, all
I
the
mean,
same.
I understand that. I mean, as a theory, they like they really are based on these profound teachings. What about the suttas, like related to these? Apart from, I don't think Paticca Samuppada is treated in Dhammachakra, but the Four Noble Truths are treated there. Um, so some of the suttas you said like word by word translation from Pali.
Hmm.
And did you find any suttas related to Paticca Samuppada, like comparative suttas in both
Yes,
traditions?
actually, yes. Bante, I found there is one sutta, but we cannot find the exact counterparts of that sutta in our Pali canon. But the sections of that suttas can be traced into Pali canon. Sections only, and it is, you know, uh, the small parts in various sutras.
Mm,
Not only the whole sutra cannot find, but the sections find. That sutta is the Arya Shalistamba Nama Mahayana Sutra.
mm,
That is the main. That is the most detailed sutta about the Pratitya Samutpada, and there the paragraphs can be traced in all the Pali canon, and it is not particular sutra in Pali, but various sutra can be connected to the Arya Salisambha Sutra.
mm,
Yes.
mm. Would you
Then the
mind? Would you mind?
Dhammapada.
Would you mind showing the related slide where we find all the suttas?
Yeah, yes. Sure.
I think our audience will find it very helpful
Yeah,
to.
this one.
Yeah, let me remove this one. So okay. Okay, so Jataka Nidana. Okay, this is another book of Kuddaka Nikaya. Ata Natya Sutta. Okay, interesting. Mahasamaya Sutta. Okay. Maitri Sutta is the Metta Sutta, I guess.
The Actually, Bhante, that is the Maitreya Sutra, how he will appear after our Gautam Buddha Sasana. How his Shasana will going to
Okay,
come
it's about the future Buddha.
about the future Buddha. It is
Okay.
similar to Anagata Vansa.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, and then Maitri Bhavana means the Metta Anisansa Sutta.
Yeah,
And then we have Pancha Sikha Nisansa. So Pancha Siksha is Sanskrit.
Panchashiksha.
Pancha Sikha
Yeah.
Nisansa.
Let me Pancha Sikhani Sansa Sutta, the portion of Anumana Sutta.
Mm. Girimananda Sutta, it's also really interesting. Like
Yeah.
the um, Dasa Sanya, 10 perceptions are
Yes.
given there. Right, right. Very interesting. And
And
yeah,
this one.
then we have Nandopananda Sutta. Okay, that is the about the taming of the Nanda Pananda, the snake.
Yes.
And then we have Mahakasapatera Bojjhanga. Okay. Okay. I think they are very interested in Bhaisajya Guru, like the medicinal Buddha, and
Yes.
hopefully Mahakasapatera and Moggallana Thera and Mahachunda Thera in Theravada tradition. These three Bojjhanga Suttas are really famous. Hopefully, they should have those things. Maybe they took only one.
Maybe.
Right. Surya Paritta, Chanda Paritta also are there. Mahamangala Sutta, nice. Mettaiya Sutta. Okay.
This, yeah, this is the second one. Arya Maitreya Sutra, the same text, Maitreya Sutra.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. This is really interesting. And let me go back to our audience. I think they also have some questions. Here we have a question from Jay Bowen. Are the Chinese agamas part of Tibetan Buddhism too?
Yeah. Yes. Chinese agamas, right? I'm unaware of the agamas transmitted or not actually, but they do. I do not see the agamas there. Majjhima Nikaya, they do not categorize like a Majjhima Nikaya, Diga Nikaya, and the uh, Khuddaka Nikaya, something like that. But yes, still I'm learning actually about the Tibetan Buddhism. But I don't think that they categorize something like that. Yeah, but they do have the Chinese translation, the Chinese sutras translation, and
Mm,
the Chinese Agama is basically the Mahayana teachings, and they maybe they do have, but I'm not sure. I need to
yeah.
read. I need to do comparative studies on that.
Right.
But
I think hopefully Bhikkhu Analeo has done a great comparative study. Even Bhikkhu Bodhi has done to a certain
hmm,
extent. Bhikkhu Analeo is actually working a lot on this comparative study thing. And so, yeah, Dirghagama is the
yeah,
Diga Nikaya, and Majjhima Agama is like Majjhima Nikaya, and then
yes.
Sangyuttagama, then Ekottaragama like Anguttara Nikaya. Yeah, but
Shudraka.
I don't think they are exact similar, but I think there could be a lot of comparative. We can see a lot of similarities in the Mahayana tradition, and
Yeah.
then yeah, as you are speaking on Tibetan Buddhism, I think it's a separate study. Do you have any idea how many suttas are there in the Tibetan Buddhism?
I actually there are I think 1,700 nearly 1,700 sutras only,
Hmm.
and carries these 70,000 folios, 70,000 pages,
Mm. Mm.
70,000 pages only the sutra sections.
I
You
see.
can you can trace this information in 84,000 website,
Mm.
and they mention that the Kagyur, only Kagyur mentions something 1,700 nearly,
Mm.
contains the 70,000 folio pages, folios,
Right. Uh,
manuscripts.
what is the website that you mentioned?
84,000. 84,000.
Just
It's a number. 84,000.
so www dot 84,000.
Yes.
Okay. 84,000. Just 84,000 or suttas.
Yeah, just write down the 84,000.
84,000.com.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, did
I
you
just
find?
Yeah, I think I'll leave it to our audience to check out that.
Okay.
84,000, we also have Theravada tradition like 84,000 Dhammas.
Yeah.
Okay, right. And okay, let me go back to our audience here. And Wheel of Wisdom is asking, okay, just I think a minute. Thank you very much for your intriguing discussion about Theravada discourses in Tibetan Buddhism. I'm also drawn to learn more about Tibetan Buddhism. Okay. All right. Thank you. And here, Dulani, how did you become interested to study more about Tibetan Buddhism? Is Tibetan Buddhism the same as Vajrayana Buddhism or different? Can you explain?
Yes, be, uh, because of Pali, I came to I mean more get more excited about the Tibetan Buddhism actually, because I have a base of Pali. I practiced Theravada Buddhism. I became a monk as a novice monk for more than a year actually.
Oh, interesting.
Then I recently disrobed actually, and during my studies, I found that there are Pali texts. Then during my Hong Kong study, I came to know close to Mahayana monks, the Tibetan monks, and their chantings, their recitation. Yeah, so gradually, the association with such people create interest in me about Tibetan Buddhism. I don't know, I don't practice, but I'm still reading
Mm,
the what is the basic teaching, what is Shunyata, what is Pratitya Samutpada, what is Bodhicitta,
mm,
that are basic. And it is I whenever I learning the new something, I found that this is already in Theravada. This is
mm,
very basic, but the very advanced level they took it. That's all. We find in very small. That thing is very small in Theravada, but in very great and at the great level in the Theravada, or I mean, sorry, in Tibetan Mahayana teachings.
mm,
So I found that this is similar. This is not different from us. Thus, interpretations, the historicity, the gap between us, that is the main thing. But
mm,
otherwise, we are same. The very basics, very basic thing. Except the tantra teachings, except some esoteric teaching, but the 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 common teachings is very similar. Just thus they are trying to get Buddhahood, and we are trying to become Arhat. That is the basic difference. That's all. Otherwise, the teachings are same. Yeah.
right.
Is Tibetan Buddhism the same as Vajrayana Buddhism or different? Yes, Tibetan Buddhism is the Vajrayana, and or it is not Vajrayana. We can say both. Tibetan Buddhism, it is the part of Mahayana. Yeah, it is not different from Mahayana, except they translated every sutra into their language, and as it is, they do not manipulate any text. But what makes Mahayana as a Vajrayana? That is their tantra system, their tantra teachings. That's all. Because of tantra, Mahayana become Vajrayana. That's all.
Okay,
Yeah.
as you mentioned Tantra, can you also
Tantra.
explain what is Tantra?
Tantra little means the technique. Tantra is the technique. Tantra is the fast mode of attaining Buddhahood. Fast mode, the speedy mode, jet mode. We can say anything. The Tantra basically, uh, how can uh, all the tantras are not basically for attainment of the Buddhahood. Different tantras targeted different objective. Okay, I like that. um, the tantra, we can say, there are many things. Tantra is a big concept actually, and the tantra can be divided into three: the kriya tantra, charya tantra, the anuttara yoga tantra. There are three tantras are there. And this particular text, our 13 text of the Theravadin Sutta, why they accepted? Because it is considered as a paritta, and it is a part of Kriya Tantra, the action Tantra. Yeah. So, Tibetan Buddhism accepted those sutras because it is the paritra for protection, for external power protecting us. That is the part of Kriya Tantra.
Mm,
So, because they find the characteristics of Tantra in that sutra, that is why that is the one of the reasons they accepted these teachings in their canon.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I think we have another question from
Yeah.
Dulani. Um, Chakravarti Sihanada Sutta and Maitri Sutta, is it similar?
Yes, the Maitri Sutra, Chakkavati Siyananda Sutta. Yes, it is, that is the we can say the counterpart of the Maitri Sutra, but it is not the exact sutta as seen in the Chakkavati Siyananda Sutta. In the Chakkavati Siyananda Sutta, we cannot found the five disappearance of the teachings, then how he will appear in this world. There are many things are missing in that, but this is both sutras are mainly concerned about the future Maitreya Buddha. But the Maitri Sutra, unfortunately, it is not a parallel of Chakravarti Siyanada Sutta. This is the only sutta in Tibetan canon talks about Maitreya Buddha. Other any other sutra in Tibetan Pali canon do not talk about the Maitreya Sutra.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Maitri Sutra actually is a exact counterpart, has its exact counterparts in the Burmese non-canonical Pali that is published in 1886 by Professor Minaya, and it is unedited, still unedited, not properly edited actually, and it is still unavailable to us to study. So that is why when I was doing my dissertation, I found that this sutta does not have a complete Pali counterparts. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have actually a number of people like who are interested in this discussion. We have Virendra Pal. I think some of your students probably Bowen, and yeah, they are all saying hi and also happy about this. And yeah, a lot of people. Okay, I just want to share with you that there are some people we are not alone. And also over here, I think, um, yeah, Poonam. Poonam, I think, also is enthusiastic about Tibetan Buddhism. She, I think, both Pali and Tibetan Buddhism. And
Yes.
Jojo, one of our regular followers here. And then we have Virendra Pal. Yeah, again, it's interesting to know about the Tibetan Buddhism.
Yes.
Okay, right. Thank you everyone for joining us today and with this discussion. I hope this was very helpful. Yeah, I think when I was in Delhi University, I remember uh,
Oh,
it was so different when I was studying in Sri Lanka and when I went to India. I met, as you mentioned, like you met people from different perspectives, different Buddhist schools in Hong Kong University. And in Delhi University, we had people from Tibet, people from China, mainland China, then South Korea,
yes,
Japan,
yes,
Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, all these countries, they were all put together. It's a beautiful unity in diversity situation in University of Delhi. So
yes, yes,
I thought it was really interesting. And when I came here, I also found we had a lot of Chinese, Taiwanese, and Malaysian, and many other wonderful people from different, like Korean, Japanese, everyone again, apart from the Theravada tradition. So it's so good to see them together, working together, studying together, and um, they are having a wonderful friendship between each other. And when you are alone in your country, probably you don't have the opportunity to learn more. But over here in USA, for example, we go to many other countries, traditions
yes,
like Tibetan, or yeah, what do you call Vietnamese temples. We go quite often, Vietnam temples, and I don't know so much in words what they chant, but it's so beautiful, so soothing when I hear the chanting. and their saddha, the piety is tremendous. And all these people are so dedicated and committed, and so they practice Buddhism. I think one of the key ingredients of Buddhism in all what we hold in common in many different traditions is the loving kindness and compassion.
Mm.
Whether it is Tibetan Buddhism, whether it is Mahayana, or whether it is
Yeah.
Theravada, it is the wonderful loving kindness that we commonly share in across all schools that really makes more sense. Yeah.
Yes.
So again, thank you so much, Ashutosh,
Mhm.
for sharing your wonderful research with us, and I am sure our audience was much more benefited. Let me see if I have one more thing here. Your time is valuable and much appreciated. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Good. And again, Jay Bowen, thank you both for this presentation. And I think this is the website that Ashutosh was talking about. What is the website?
The 84,000,
Yeah.
just hit the number 84,000.
Right. Right. Okay. Yes. With that, we conclude today's session, and thank you so much. And we would like to invite you again. I think we are meeting again next week.
Yes, yes.
So, would you like to um, explain a little bit about your topic?
Yes, on coming next week, we are going to discuss on the Bodhicitta concept. This is the main core teachings of the Mahayana, and we will learn the Bodhicitta concept from the Bodhicharya Avatara, that text. We will study the Bodhicharya Avatara text, and let's see how it guided to develop or cultivate the Bodhicitta.
That's a very interesting text. I have also studied Bodhicharya, and yeah, I'm sure the audience, you if you are interested in learning more about more loving kindness, more metta, more compassion, yeah, come join us next week, and
Yes.
let us learn about the Bodhicitta through Bodhicharya Avatara. And with that, we conclude. Thank you so much, Ashutosh. I
Thank
wish
you.
you all the very best and long life and good health with the blessings of the Noble Tripathi. Thank you,
Yes.
everyone, and see you again. Have a wonderful evening to all of you.
Thank you, Bante.
Sukhi Digai Bhava.